Hello stampers. I have another card technique that I want to show you, and I'm really not sure what to call it. A quilting technique or a quilted sponging technique. I had a stamper who showed me a picture of a card at one of our clubs, and she said she wanted to learn how to do the technique, and I couldn't figure out what to call it or how to find it online, so I kind of just went by the picture and figured out a way to do it on my own. So what we're going to learn how to do is the sponging, but we're going to use a template so that we end up with this quilted look on the front of the card. Okay, so let's get started. First, we're going to use the Simply Scored, and I've got the diagonal plate on there. So the diagonal plate is great, and what you'll notice is right up at the top, hopefully you can see that, there's an arrow right here. I'm going to tilt and turn it just in case you can't see it, and you want to make sure that arrow is pointed up so that your lines will go in the right direction. You're just going to use a scrap piece of paper, doesn't matter what color, 4 1/4 by 5 1/2, and you're going to put that up in the corner. And we need our stylus here, and you're going to start, let's start at the 0 in the middle, and you're going to come down diagonal. You're going to go from 0 to 2 and then to 4, so every 2 inches, 0, 2, and 4. And then you've already done the 0 here. You're going to start coming down this side, so you're going to go to the 2 again. Sometimes I can find the diagonal plate tricky to find the grooves, so I wiggle my stylus around until I found it so that I'm not jumping out of the grooves. Once you've got this angle done, you're going to turn your cardstock the other way, and you're going to do the exact same thing. So you're going to start off at the 0 again, come across to the 2, come across to the 4. And then down the side, you've already done the 0, so go to the 2, and then a little tiny one at the 4. It doesn't matter if you hop out of the lines at all, it's just a template, so it's not really imperative that you get the grooves perfect. And then what we're going to do now that we've got the grooves in there, either side, it doesn't matter whether our grooves are up or down for the template, you want to cut out a V. Okay, so I'm just going to take my paper snips here, and I'm going to follow some of our score lines. And cut out a V from the top of our template. So this is what we're going to use to get our inking and our sponging done. And that's just the piece from the top. Okay, so let's get that out of the way. I'm just going to move the Simply Scored out of our way here. And the next thing we're going to do is bring in our card front. And what I did for this guy, I'll show you the card again. I'm using the Perfect Plum, very monochromatic card. I use the same color throughout. Well, easy to coordinate, and I like the look of the monochromatic card. So what I did for this guy was I used one big acrylic block because I have a clear stamp set of mixed bunch. And I placed my flowers where I wanted them, and then put the block on top so that it was just one stamp, and I could do a bit of a background on here. So that's what I did with the mixed bunch, clear stamps, all on one block, punched my pattern along the side there. And now what I want to do, oh, actually I have to score this guy. I forgot to score this one. So let's bring back the Simply Scored for a second. And we're going to do the same thing that we did with our template. I almost forgot that part, and that's the most important part. Okay, I'm going to turn this guy over actually because I want my score lines to come out. And we're going to do the same thing, like I said, that we did with our template. So we're going to start at the 0 and come down 2 inches, and 4 inches is right on the corner. We're going to come down the side 2 inches, 4. Now we're going to turn and do the same thing. Can't believe I almost forgot the most important scoring on the front of our card. So again, 0, 2, 4, and again down here on the side, and 4 is just in the corner. So hopefully you can see we end up with a really nice grid look. Now I chose to score mine face down so that my score bumps would be up. You can do it the other way as well, and I believe I did that on this one. The scores on this one are actually going down into the card, so a little bit of a different look. Okay, so now we really, truly can get the Simply Scored out of the way. got my scrap paper here, and now what we're going to do is some sponging. So hopefully you can see that grid or those lines on the paper. And then we've got our template here. And what you're going to do is you're going to line those up so that the grid on your white paper matches the grid on your template. And I'm just going to start in the middle and just try to brush up and out. Personally, I want more closer to the inside than I do on the outside. There's a little bit there. It's a little darker than I wanted, but we'll go with the flow. And then you're simply going to move your template as you go. You want to do every diamond or triangle, whatever you want to call them. Diamond, I suppose, not a triangle, Shallon. It's late. Can you tell? Oh, okie dokie. We're just going to move on to every diamond. And even though I know it seems kind of funny, I thought the same thing when I did my first card, that I'm covering up my stamped images. Oh no! But you get over that. It's the technique you're looking for. Just going to try to go a little bit faster just for the video's sake. These new, well, not so new ink pads now, I suppose, are lovely, but I still catch myself almost inking a little too much. As you can see by the first of this video, they're so juicy. They're wonderful, but there are times where I almost catch myself wishing they didn't have as much oomph to them. I know I'll slap myself on the wrist. I shouldn't say such things. You can see how that quilting's coming together, and I think that's it. Those are the tops of the diamonds there, so I think that's all the quilting I'm going to be doing. There we go. Perfect. So we're done with our template and our sponging. And like I said, it's pretty monochromatic, so it's the perfect plum cardstock, and it's just a regular card size, 5.5 by 4 1/4. So it's a sheet of 8.5 by 11, and you just cut it in two, and whichever way you cut it into, you're going to get 2 cards out of it. So that's our base. Put some snail on this. There's the front of our card there. And then what I did was I used the Petite Pears stamp set, and I used the large oval and the scallop oval to make my greeting. And I believe I used a dimensional on the greeting just to pop it off the perfect plum piece. I love stamping dimensionals. They rock my world, I must say. There we go. I think I might put this a little closer to the bottom this time. There we go. So we've got it done. So we've got our sponging, or our quilted sponging technique all finished. Let me get this junk out of the way so you can have a good look. So we've got our pattern down this side. We've scored with our Simply Scored to get our diamond shape, and then we're sponging in the corners to give it more of a quilted effect. And then we've got our Petite Pears greeting. And on this is the sample that I had. What I did was the best wishes on the outside, and then for the new Mr. and Mrs. on the inside. So I made a little bit of a wedding card. So there you have it. The sponging quilting technique, or the quilting sponging technique. I think it's pretty cool. I hope you like the technique. I hope you can make some templates of your own and start stamping away and come up with some beautiful creations. Thank you for watching the video. Like, comment, share. I appreciate the feedback. Thanks a lot, and happy stamping.